Proposed by philosopher Robert Nozick, this thought experiment questions whether people would choose to enter a machine that provides any experience they desire, even if it means disconnecting from the real world. So, the thought experiment is, if you had an experience machine in which you could connect, basically Matrix style, and that machine, you could program it to give you any experience you want, right? You want to be rich and experience pleasures for the next 3 years. You plug yourself into the experience machine and you go into it. You have no way of telling the difference until you wake up and get disconnected from the experience machine. Would people go into that or not? And then some people raise their hands, some people don't. I definitely wouldn't connect myself to an experience machine.
Yeah, I have a pretty good answer to
that. Just one thing people said in my class was like, yeah, but how do you know you're not connected to an experience machine right now? And you're not, in a dream world right now? Yeah, it doesn't matter. And then if I am in a dream world right now, why would I go one step deeper into the dream, into another dream? Like, I just want to live my life right now, whether it's real or not,
Philosophy undergraduates are perhaps the people weighing down the average IQ to a 100. I'm pretty convinced the average IQ of society is 110, and all these philosophy undergraduates are weighing it down.
I mean, I don't think that's a good conception of IQ. But...
Quote me on that. But yeah, the answer is quite simple. If you're going to the machine, I want to guarantee that I'll die in the machine. And if I have to even live one day knowing that I didn't actually live that life, then don't connect me. Because if you're going to die in that machine, that's literally your life. That is literally your life, right? Like, oh, I want to be a king, blah, 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 all these things. Yes, I want to do it. But if I have to come back, like wake up from it, even for one day, and you could just think about it as a dream, right? Imagine you're in a coma, you're a coma patient, and then you have a life, like a 70 years in a coma where you're dreaming up the best life possible. The problem is with that, you're going to have to wake up one day and face the fact that you've never lived that life.
Yeah, but the argument is, why does that make a difference? You experience those things as real while you were there, and then you wake up and you can go plug yourself back into the experience machine and have amazing experiences again.
You can plug yourself back up. It's just the reason you get up from bed from a good dream. It's because it's time to get stuff done in the real world. That's it. It's practicality, really. It's
just my conception of real life and fulfillment and happiness contains so much pain within it also. Like, I don't think I would be happy if all I did every day was just happy experiences and shooting up dopamine, and then just doing happy things. Part of the pleasure of life and experiencing hardships and then going through those and coming out the other side. And so going into an experience machine where you could only be happy, if that's even conceivable, isn't desirable to me, because I don't think that provides me with the most fulfillment.
Yeah. Augustine talked about that. I think it's the saint. I think it's he described happiness as the return on investment of risk that you put into your life, and the only reason that has a positive value is because of the possibility of the opposing negative value. So the only reason love feels so good is because you could have been heartbroken. And in fact, yeah, it's just, I thought about this thing. I thought about doing a mental experiment. No, I thought about doing an episode about how if they make horrible consideration, okay, but if they make a perfect robot that represents the human body, and then a perfect AI that could represent a girlfriend, the AI robot girlfriend would be a real girlfriend. Right, literally, because she would have the same emotional response and the same it's a perfect AI, right? And the same like physical touch aspects or whatever. But the reason why you might have the intuition that's not the case, and then you shouldn't buy a girlfriend robot, is that there's no risk associated to it. Is because you know that that's never going to go away. And the little thing in the back of your mind is going to be saying, this isn't true happiness because there was never the possibility of unhappiness, and that's it.
And then, in the experience machine, you could program yourself going through hardships and, being challenged and then coming out on the other side better. And then you could, then there's a counter argument to that. And then you can tweak the machine to get it better. And then there's a counter argument to that, etc., etc. And then if you approach them infinitely, then the experience machine doesn't matter because, maybe I'm in an experience machine right now. I'm not going to go one level deeper, as I said. It's...
Yeah. I think the biggest thing then becomes, like, imagine you live your next 80 years of life, right?
Yeah.
Okay? I go back in time with you, and I ask you, okay, I've programmed the experience machine to play those exact 80 years.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
And then the differentiating factor will be legacy, right? Let's say you're a famous author. The books that you wrote were in a Matrix-like program. Whereas here, we're doing some of this stuff with the hope that we'll be remembered throughout time, right? A lot of what people do is what's the most certain thing in humans? Death. So what do we always try to do? Leave a legacy. That's why, that's why people have kids, blah, blah, blah. So the only thing that humans can't do is be immortal, so we try to be immortal through our work, through our kids. And the big difference between doing everything, right, like working for, 60, 50 years in that experience machine, even though it's fulfilling, even though it has some failures, even though it genuinely makes you feel happy, would be the legacy you're leaving on this world.
Oh, the counter argument to that is that when you're in the experience machine, as we may be right now,
for that whole time you're going to be thinking that you're living a legacy.
Yeah. And the problem comes when you wake up and you realize that that's not true.
So again, if I'm made aware of a free ticket to, the next 80 years of my life, but I have to face that, and even then, even if you don't wake up after, before you make that decision, you have to be aware that you're not going to be leaving a legacy you think. But that's easier to accept, though, because you're just going to die in it, and you're going to live the best life that you want. I was going to say, experience machine, yes or no? Okay.
I was going to say, the solution to this is just like, if you feel like your life is real right now, live it and don't ask too many questions. But then in the Matrix, people don't ask too many questions and they live as slaves for the robots and whatever.
No, if you're a Matrix theorist, stop. Just keep whatever. You know what? Think about that. Is that what you want your legacy in the real world to be? Because this is the real world. Wake up. So, okay. The answer is, if I can die in the machine and make myself believe that I've had the best of life in a programmed way, sure. I kind of do it because it's easy. But I wouldn't know that it's easy as soon as I go into the machine because it's going to feel real. And if I have to even face one day the fact that I'm not going to leave a legacy and that what I have done is not real, and I'm living in true predetermination, then I wouldn't do it.
The solution to, the Matrix debate of, are we in a Matrix right now, whatever, is just like, live on the basis of the fact that you're in the real world right now. Because what else are you going to do, dude? You're not going to disconnect from the Matrix,
Yeah. As far as the theories of Matrix has, pushed itself, what it's never going to reach, likely, because it has not reached it for now, is a way to escape it. So kind of just live, right?
Yeah, just live. Just the most desirable place, obviously, is the realist place, escaping all the layers of Matrix. And if you feel like you're in that right now, then...
But even if you don't, that the people who we're talking to right now are the people that don't. And the answer to that is, well, name a realer place than this one, and you can't. So live with the best option,
Yeah,